Welcome to Mindful Leadership, Transforming Lives, with your host, Singh. This is where leadership meets purpose, presence, and passion. In today's fast-paced, high-pressure world, we face a leadership crisis. Too often, teams are led by managers who lack empathy, clarity, and vision, leaving individuals uninspired, disconnected, and undervalued. But it doesn't have to be this way. Great leadership isn't born, it's built. The end game: empower your leadership, inspire the world. Every week, join me, your host Singh, as we tackle the gaps in leadership and life coaching head on, learning how mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and compassion can redefine success. This isn't just another podcast, it's a mission to fill the void left by ineffective leadership. And it's not just about leadership in business. Life coaching for leaders and new executives is at heart of this journey. Ready to rise above the noise and lead with clarity, purpose, and impact? Join a global movement dedicated to reshaping the future of leadership one mindful moment at a time. Let's begin.
Welcome back to another episode of Mindful Leadership Transforming Life podcast on the Transformation Network. The podcast where we turn stress into strategy, overthinking into clarity, and overwhelm into momentum. I'm your host, Singh, the leadership coach who knows that growth does not happen through burnout, it happens through alignment. So let's begin. Some teams thrive in chaos, others collapse faster than your January gym membership. The difference: psychological safety. Today, we are training the identity of a leader who builds rooms with truth, lands without permission. Our mantra today is simple: do the reps before the room, because 5 minutes of prep beats 50 minutes of cleanup. Here is what we are going to cover today: why psychological safety drives performance, how emotional agility keeps you steady, four safe leadership moves you can use today, a quick stock you add odds sequence before hard conversation, and a 24-hour challenge to lock it in. If your team is lip syncing, nodding, smiling, saying nothing, you don't have a performance problem, you have a safety problem. Let's slow that down and make it practical. If the room is quiet, it is not because nobody has ideas. It is because that room taught them that silence is safer than honesty. People are smart. They are running a subconscious cost benefit analysis. Is telling the truth worth the risk? When the answer is probably not, you get the polite grin, the head tilt, the sounds good chorus, and zero momentum. So, how do you change that calculus? Two levers: reduce the social cost of speaking up, and second, increase the payoff for candor. So, first, let's look at reducing the social cost of speaking up. Translation: it is safe here. Into behaviors they can see. Start a meeting with one liner like, I'm likely missing something. What am I not seeing? That sentence does three things: it lowers your status just enough to open the floor, it invites correction as a gift instead of a threat, and it tells the room the goal is truth, not ego. Follow it with a tiny admission, something real and recent. Like, I changed the deadline midweek and created confusion. That is on me. See, when you go first, you puncture the fear balloon. Second, increase the payoff. Payoff to speak up. When someone takes a risk and says the awkward thing, reward the move, not just the message. Try this triad next time: thank, tease, and task. Thank is like, appreciate you saying that out loud. Tease, which is pulling the thread, say more. What did we miss? Or task, small next step. Great. Can you pair with John and bring two options by tomorrow? See, you just converted courage into forward motion. And people notice. The payoff for candor went up. So here is a quick micro drill you can run in under 2 minutes. I call it round the horn. Ask, what is one concern we are not naming? Give everyone 10 silent seconds. Yes, the silence will feel long and sit in it. Then go clockwise. No crosstalk, no debate, just stack concerns. When you hear a sharp one, label it. Label it as taken. Let's park it and come back. By the end, you have surfaced the real obstacle without turning the meeting into a boxing match. Now, let's talk about the everyday tells that safety is low. The same two people speak every time. Decisions get approved in the meeting and undone in the hallway. You hear the devil's advocate preambles. Code for I am nervous to disagree. If you spot those, name the pattern, not the person. I'm noticing our decisions are drifting after the meeting. Let's capture an owner, a due date, and preempt the drift by setting 10-minute follow-up tomorrow. That is leadership in service of safety. You're removing the places where truth goes to hide. And here is a script you can steal. The next time the room goes quiet after you ask for feedback, start with something like, okay, I asked a vague question. Let me be specific. Or on a scale of 1 to 5, how confident are we in this plan? Hands up, quick read. It does not have to be another debate conversation. Or if you didn't say a 5, what would make it a point higher? The question is magic, right? If you did, let's say something on a scale of 1 to 5, and if you're not saying 5, how would you make it a point higher? It invites improvement instead of indictment. People can add a brick without tearing down the house. And because we are human, let's acknowledge the fear behind the fear, reputation risk. Folks worry that one clumsy comment will brand them forever. You can diffuse that by separating idea quality from person value out loud. Something like rough ideas are welcome. Rough ideas make strong ideas. Or we are workshopping the draft, not the human. Say it enough times that your team will start repeating it for you. And last bit, make the first 5 minutes of every meeting a safety ritual. Pick any one of these one line learn. What did you learn this week that changed your mind? Or an assumption audit. What must be true for this plan to work? Or a red team ticket. Who wants 60-second poke holes ticket today? See, rituals beat reminder. If you ritualize safety, you won't have to beg for honesty. People will bring it because the system expects it. Remember, we are not chasing warm fuzzies. We are engineering faster truth. Faster truth means faster course correction, which is how teams win under pressure. Give them permission to fail, and they will give you something far better in return: the real data, the real information you need to make winning decisions. So let's ground this in what the research and real world agree on. Psychological safety is not a warm fuzzy, it is a performance mechanic. Howard's Amy Edmondson found that teams with higher psychological safety actually surface more mistakes, but they learn faster and deliver more because less energy is spent hiding problems and more in solving them. In other words, you're not increasing failure, you are accelerating learning. If you have ever wondered why two similarly talented teams produce widely different outcomes, there is the invisible variable, the cost of speaking truth. When social cost is high, people sand down sharp edges, park real concerns, and ship safe mediocrity. When cost is low and when safety is high, you get faster truth, faster co correction, and a compounding advantage over time. That is not philosophy, it is throughput that your team can have. Think about Pixar's brain test. It is a system designed to candor with care. Intern to director, anyone can challenge the work so the work gets better. Drafts are not protected, they are pressure tested by many eyes. The culture message is we are workshopping the idea, not judging human. That norm is why rough storyboards become world class films. Iteration speed is protected because voice is protected. Well, that next to cautionary pattern we see in low safety environments, right? When people believe that raising a risk equals punishment, issues don't disappear, they mutate underground. That is how small defects become headline problems. Your organization either pays the price upfront in candid conversation or downstream in rework, recalls, and reputation damage. The invoice arrives. Psychological safety decides which and how big it is. You can also see the impact of leadership level. When a CEO sets the tone with vulnerability and curiosity, teams mirror it. More issues are surfaced earlier, which paradoxically reduces total errors because detection is fast and fixes are quick. Contrast that with a shoot the messenger style. People optimize for self protection, not solution discovery. Same talent, different climate, completely different velocity. If you like mental model, use this. Low safety, slow truth, slow fix, big miss. High safety, fast truth, fast fix, better outcomes. Speed of truth predicts speed of improvement. Two practical tells that your science is working. One, error rate goes up briefly, then down as reporting improves and system adapt. Second, debate heat stays on the work, not on the person. You hear what would make this stronger more than who approved this. Another one, formalize a challenge the work window in your reviews. Something like 2 minutes per person, no preambles, no status game. Just simple question. What is one risk we are not naming yet? Yes, the first few rounds feel awkward. Then the culture flips. Truth gets cheaper, learning gets faster, your outcome gets better. That's the science and the field proof. Now let's look at how to engineer this climate on the purpose with safe so you are not relying on luck or heroics. You're building a repeatable system for faster truth and better decisions. So, as a leader, you have seen both rooms. A low safety room, every suggestion feels like stepping onto a firing range, right? Dave dissects Karen's eyebrows, do the commentary, and you learn to rehearse silence. And then the high safety room, the default reply is interesting, say more. And suddenly, the weird, half baked ideas that normally die in your drafts folder actually make it to the whiteboard. So let's wire this into muscle memory. Three micro moves you can run in next meeting. First, reframe the prompt. When the idea lands, resist judging the person or the polish. Ask, what is one thing that would make this 10% stronger? That question uplifts the critic to collaboration. It tells the team, we are building with you, not grading at you. Second, the two ticket rule. For every why it won't work, require a how it could work. One risk and one rescue. Now, what you did, naysayers become designers, not just critics. It keeps momentum on the work, not on the egos. And third, round the horn. 30 seconds of silent think time. Yes, embrace the awkward. Then one sentence per person. What is a concern we are not naming? No crosstalk. You're fishing for truth, not applause. Capture themes, park the best one, return with action. Listen for tells. Low safety room say, we approved this. High safety say, what would improve this? Low safety body language is arms crossed, eyes down, laptops off. High safety, pens out, heads tilted, somebody stands to draw. Give your team the line that makes courage cheap. Rough ideas welcome. We are workshopping the draft, not the human. Say it early, say it often, then prove it by building the rough idea in public. That's how weird becomes workable, and workable becomes a win. Emotional agility is not a group therapy. It is a command of self under heat. Your first reaction sets the climate. If you spike, the room armors up. If you steady, the room breathes. And here is a micro drill I use. When you feel receive, pause for 5 seconds, ask, what story am I telling myself? And then ask, what else could be true? That one beat moves you from reacting to leading because genius with velocity creates fear, curiosity with clarity creates trust. Now, let's add a few pro moves. You can run live in any meeting. Make your exhale longer than inhale. Try inhale for 4 beats and exhale for 6. It is a stealth, parasympathetic reset. Do it while you are reviewing notes. Your voice will drop half a tone, and the room will mirror your nervous system. Second, silently label the emotions: irritated, anxious, defensive. When you name it, you shrink it. If it is useful to say it loud, try, I'm noticing I'm getting a little defensive. Give me 10 seconds to reset so I can hear this clearly. See, that sentence buys you grace and models safety. Again, it's all about becoming the observer as part of mindful practice. Next, let's talk about swapping judgment for curiosity. I call it language swapping. Instead of why didn't you, try what made that best call in the moment. Instead of who dropped the ball, where did our process break? Instead of this won't work, what would make this 10% stronger? See, these keep the hit on work and takes away from people. And then the next one is situation behavior impact. Use it when giving hot feedback without burning trust. So situation would be in yesterday's handoff, something happened. Behavior, we changed the deadline after sign off. And impact, it created duplicate work. And close with curiosity. What would help us prevent that next sprint? Next idea, listen to content and climate. The words and emotional temperature. If the story is clear, but the climate is hot, say, I hear urgency. Let's solve the root cause, not the symptom. So you just validated emotion and redirected energy to problem solving. Another quick trick, ask the room, where is your nervous system? Red, yellow, and green. Red, we are flooded, call a 5 minute reset. Yellow, proceed slowly, clarify decisions in writing. Green, move, decide, and document. Again, see how the invisible is made visible so work matches capacity and caliber. Now, when your brain sprints up the ladder of inference, they ignored me, they don't care, I need to control everything. Walk it back with evidence. What do I actually know? What did I assume? What data would change my mind? Say it out if needed. You'll feel the entire team exhale. Let's look at a real world scenario, right? A mini scene. Okay, launch slipped by 2 days. My first story is we are careless. Pause. Alternate story, we had unplanned dependencies. Breathe. Let's check the facts. What dependency surprised us? What signal did we miss? What would make the plan 10% stronger by tomorrow? Notice these questions don't have any blames, but a lot of specific curiosity, right? Help me understand your constraints so I don't solve wrong problems. Or I'm separating the draft from let's make draft stronger, or assume good intent, inspect process. And then finally, the self review in 60 seconds. Ask yourself, where did my tone shift the room up or down? What triggered me and what cue worked to reset? What sentence would improve next time? Capture one line of learning and one micro tweak. That's how agility compounds. All right, let's get practical. You have heard the research, you have seen some examples, but now it's about how. How do you build a culture where people don't just survive mistakes, but actually use them? That's where my safe leadership moves comes in. None of these require fancy offsites, big budgets, or pizza parties. They just require you to show up differently. So let's break it down. Step one, show vulnerability. If you want your team to admit mistakes or bring bold ideas, you have got to go first. Think of it like cannonballing into pool. Once you jump, everyone else feels safe to follow. And let me tell you, it does not matter if you nail the perfect dive or belly flop so hard that everybody winces. The point is you are in the water. I worked with a leader once who never admitted mistake, not once. He acted like saying, I messed up, would make him spontaneously combust. Guess what? Nobody trusted him. Because when your leader is pretending to be perfect, everyone else hides their imperfections. And people hide, they stop experimenting, they stop taking risk, and team flatlines. So go first. I missed the deadline. I confessed I caused confusion. Here is how I'm going to fix it. Those sentences said loud build a foundation stronger than any motivational poster on the wall. Step two, ask for feedback. This one is simple but scary. You look at your team and ask, what is one thing I can do better as a leader? Trust me, people around will tell you. But when they answer, you don't argue. If they say stop micromanaging, your response is not, but I'm helping. No, you just take note. And for the love of leadership, don't cheat with. What can I do better besides being awesome? That's not feedback, that's finishing. Step three, focus on effort, not just results. When someone on your team tries something bold, even if it flops, celebrate the courage. It is like clapping at middle school play. You're not applauding Broadway level acting, you're applauding the fact that they had guts to get on the stage. Step four, establish guardrails. Safety without boundaries is chaos. It's toddler's birthday party energy, balloons, cake, and someone crying in the corner. Guardrails are like bumper lanes in blowing, right? In bowling. They don't stop you from throwing a wild shot, but they make sure the ball still heads towards the pins. In practice, this might mean clear roles, time limits on debates, or success criteria upfront. So that's the framework. Show vulnerability, ask for feedback, focus on effort, and establish guardrails. Here's how it works. In your next meeting, you go first, admit a small but real miss. Then privately, maybe in one-on-one, say, or in a Slack DM, right? Call out someone's specific effort. It is your private win. This pairing of public mess and private you win lowers the bar for honesty, creating comparison of motivation. It raises motivation. Together, by lowering the bar for honesty and increasing motivation, they reset the culture in very short time. And it does not have to be a big speech. It takes 45 seconds. If you can run that pattern once in a while in your office. So here is your 24-hour challenge. Pick just one move from the SAFE framework, show vulnerability, ask for feedback, focus on effort, or establish guardrails, and put it into action within the next day, not next week, not when things calm down in the next 24 hours. Admit a small miss in your next stand up. Ask one team member, what is one thing I do better as a leader? Celebrate someone who leads a bold swing, even if it did not quite land in where you want it. Or put a bumper lane in place so your next meeting does not spiral into chaos. Why the 24-hour window? Because your brain is sneaky. Give it a week and it'll find 27 excuses not to act. It's not the right time, the team is too busy, make after the next sprint, so on and so forth. No load leadership momentum lives in the now, right? So today's rep build tomorrow's culture. Or as I like to remind myself, do the reps before the room. And if you're thinking, I don't know where to start, I got you covered. If you want a quick read on how safe your leadership team really feels, take the psychology safety quiz. It's short, it's eye-opening, and it'll give you a clear snapshot of where you stand. DM me the words safe team on LinkedIn, and I'll send you the link directly. On top of that, don't forget this week, free resource that I'll be putting out shortly on LinkedIn. Bite-sized actionable steps you can try immediately. And here's one more layer of accountability. Share your 24-hour action with me. Shoot me a message that says, here's my move. And I want to hear what you tried, what happened, and what you learned. Who knows? I might even share a few listener stories in future episodes. Because when we share the reps, we multiply the growth. Now, let me bring it back to where we start. Think of your next meeting like karaoke night. If your people feel safe, they will grab the mic, belt out Bohemian Rhapsody, right? And maybe hit a few wrong notes. Without safety, they are just mouthing the words, hoping nobody notices. And here's the truth: innovation does not come from lip syncing, it comes from the messy, off key, courageous moments when people feel free enough to sing. So let your team sing, encourage the rough drafts, celebrate the belly flops, create a room where failure is not fatal but fuel. That is how trust is built. And that is how breakthroughs are born. That is for today. If this resonated with you, share it with one colleague who is ready to turn fear into fuel. Next time, we are diving into how to inspire trust without micromanaging. Because let's be honest, nobody wants a boss hovering over their shoulder counting keystrokes. Actually, I used to have it. Until then, lead loud, lead proud, and lead in balance. I'm saying you're listening to Mindful Leadership, Transforming Lives on the Transformation Network. Remember, say it with me, do the reps before the room. Do the reps before the room. Have a good day.
Thank you for watching Mindful Leadership Transforming Lives. With me, your host, Singh. We are honored to have you join us on this journey to explore the transformative power of mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and authentic leadership. Tune in every week on transformationtalkradio.com at noon Pacific on Tuesdays, where we will continue to explore how mindful leadership can create a ripple effect of positive changes in your life and lives of those you influence. This show is dedicated to helping you lead with purpose, presence, and passion. Whether you're navigating the complexities of business, building strong connection with your team, or striving to make a meaningful impact in the world around you. To learn more about the show, access additional resources, or dive deeper, visit singpowerupcoach.com. Remember, leadership isn't just about what you do, it's about who you are. Let's continue to transform lives together, one mindful moment at a time. See you next week.